There is a pattern you'll notice in almost every person with unrealized potential. They dream big. They imagine success. They picture a better future. They tell themselves that one day they'll finally become the person they know they're capable of. And for a moment, it feels real. But when the time comes to act, something strange happens. They hesitate. They delay. They distract themselves. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow. Then tomorrow arrives, and somehow, nothing changes. Weeks pass, months pass, sometimes years pass. Most people call this laziness, but that's not the pattern. The real pattern is much deeper, because what looks like laziness from the outside is often self-protection on the inside. And once you see this pattern, you'll understand why so many intelligent, talented people spend their lives trapped in the same place. Most people see behavior. Few people see the pattern behind the behavior.
They see someone procrastinating and assume they lack discipline. They see someone avoiding opportunities and assume they aren't ambitious enough. They see someone stuck and assume they simply don't care. But behavior is only the surface. Patterns live underneath. And the pattern behind self-sabotage is surprisingly simple. Your brain values safety more than growth. Not success, not achievement, not potential. Safety. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes perfect sense. For most of human history, survival mattered more than self-actualization. Your brain wasn't designed to help you become extraordinary. It was designed to keep you alive. And that's where the conflict begins. Every meaningful goal requires discomfort. Starting a business, losing weight, learning a skill, speaking up, taking a risk, changing your life. Every one of these demands that you step into uncertainty. And uncertainty feels dangerous to the brain. So the moment growth appears, something else appears with it. Fear. Not always obvious fear. Sometimes it disguises itself as procrastination, as perfectionism, as overthinking, as waiting for the perfect moment, as endless preparation. Different masks, same pattern. The brain sees uncertainty, the brain creates resistance. The person stays where they are. Imagine standing inside a maze. Outside the maze is the life you want. The opportunities, the confidence, the freedom, the growth. But inside the maze, something feels safer. It's familiar, predictable, comfortable. The strange thing about comfort is that it rarely feels like a trap at first. It feels like protection. That's why so many people stay there. Not because they're weak, not because they're incapable, because comfort is convincing. It whispers, stay here, wait a little longer, start when you're ready. The problem is that ready never arrives, and every day spent waiting strengthens the walls of the maze. This is where many people become confused, because some of the people most affected by self-sabotage are incredibly intelligent. They know what they need to do. They understand the process. They've read the books, watched the videos, made the plans. So why don't they move? Because awareness alone doesn't break patterns. You can understand a cage and still remain inside it. You can see the maze and still walk in circles. Knowledge is valuable, but action is what changes reality. And action requires confronting discomfort. That's the part most people spend years trying to avoid. Every decision creates a pattern. Choose comfort once, nothing happens. Choose comfort repeatedly, a pattern begins to form. Eventually, that pattern becomes a lifestyle, then an identity. And one day, people look around and wonder where the years went. Potential doesn't disappear overnight. It fades quietly. One avoided challenge at a time, one postponed opportunity at a time, one excuse at a time.
That's what makes this pattern so dangerous. It rarely feels dangerous while it's happening. The solution isn't motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. The solution is learning to act before you feel ready. Because confidence doesn't create action. Action creates confidence. Courage doesn't come before movement. It comes because of movement. Every time you act despite discomfort, you send a message to your brain. You teach it that uncertainty is survivable. You teach it that growth isn't the enemy. You teach it that fear doesn't get the final vote. And slowly, the pattern begins to change. The version of yourself that you want to become isn't hidden behind a lack of talent. It isn't hidden behind bad luck. And it isn't hidden behind some magical burst of motivation. It's hidden behind a pattern. A pattern of choosing comfort when growth demands discomfort. A pattern of staying inside the maze when the exit is only a few steps away. The good news is that patterns are not prisons. Patterns can be rewritten, one decision at a time, one action at a time, one uncomfortable step at a time. Most people will continue reacting to the pattern. A few will learn to recognize it, and those people change their lives. Because once you can see the pattern, you can finally change the outcome.